All right, it's 12 minutes after 2. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're still watching Nedbank Business Watch. I beg your pardon. And we want to get into an interesting development right now where you know that in this digital age, the line between convenience and risk is often blurred, and online fraud has become somewhat a growing threat today. And we are joined by Spalele Makakula Shabangu, who is the Forensic Risk Manager at Nedbank Eswatini. She brings a wealth of expertise in navigating the complex landscape of cybercrime. Let's get into it right now. Spalele, welcome to the program. Let's start by understanding the threat. You know, we've heard a lot of conversation around this particular threat. We call it spoofed websites. Talk to me about, how one can really know what this means, how this differs from other types of online fraud.
Thank you so much. So there's two types of these frauds that we'll be speaking about. Firstly, it's the spoofed websites, and then it's going to be these fake adverts.
Okay.
So spoofed websites are basically, should I say, cloned like websites. You know, your original Eswatini TV website, that is going to be copied by fraudsters. And then the unsuspecting public like myself is going to go on that website. Festive season is coming up now. They'll be running adverts on specials that are going to be coming up for your marketing. So this unsuspecting public will then be communicating with fraudsters, believing that they're speaking to Eswatini TV officers, the marketing team. So it's basically a website that is fake, but mimicking an existing website.
Yeah.
So the look and feel is going to exactly look like Eswatini TV website, but it's basically not.
So it's a near perfect replica, so to speak,
Basically.
masquerading as, we're using a perfect example here. We do have a website at Eswatini TV. So how do now these cyber criminals exploit me as an online shopper to, shop or whatever, get, I don't know, everything that I want to do on the website. So for instance, I normally go online. I do a lot of shopping online. Not that I have money, by the way. But whenever I do it, I think I have clicked on a replica website before. And it had a lot of adverts that I didn't even understand.
True. So the aim for fraudsters when they put up spoof sites, the main thing is to obtain information, mostly your personal information. What spoof sites will have mostly is that on your spoof site, you are then going to get to a point where you have to make payment. So that is where then you are going to compromise your credentials. So there's going to be obviously a pop-up where you're going to put in your card details, all the information that is going to assist in processing the payment.
Yeah.
Besides the fact that you are going to be defrauded in terms of that particular transaction, that whatever goods or services that you're exchanging, you'll not get. But then you'll be compromised in the sense that those fraudsters are now going to have your information, and they will go on to then process other payments without you knowing. In most cases, you find now clients are disputing transactions. I'm now receiving, notifications of transactions that I didn't process.
Yeah.
Then these are classic cases.
That's very scary. Sometimes even before getting into the transactions themselves, I think I've had an experience myself where I'm receiving emails from something that I've never even subscribed to.
Certainly. So what will happen is that in these spoof sites, for instance, as you are engaging, on these spoof sites, you'll get pop-ups, and you'll be prompt to answer certain questions. Your information is going to be taken. Most of the time, your email address, and all that. Sometimes the certain steps that will prevent you to move to the next stage without you submitting certain information. So at this stage, this is where all your information is then being gathered. So you'll find out that you're now being subscribed in different platforms that you haven't, to the point that some other instances you are being auto-subscribed. The subscriptions are being done, monthly.
Yeah.
And you'll be coming to the bank, I did not subscribe to this.
Let's get into the social engineering part of it, because I suppose it does play a big part in terms of, tricking me as the consumer into making sure that I'm literally lured into partaking on this so-called website. What are some of these psychological tricks that they use to make me feel like, okay, this is the official website from Nedbank, even if it's not?
Okay, I'll give an example. So social engineering is basically gathering information about yourself and luring you, right? If you're a soccer fanatic, right? Let's say you bet in terms of soccer. That's going to be how you're going to get hit or
Yeah.
get hooked.
Okay.
And at that point, your guard will be down because this is something that is very exciting
Yeah,
to you.
something I'm used
And
to.
exactly. And your guard is so down and you're excited. Your adrenaline is rushing at the time. So this is where most of the time people get compromised. So basically it's the things that you like and oversharing on social media. So this is where the fraudsters gather this information. Besides directly approaching you, where they now solicit directly information from you, it's what you voluntarily share.
It's very interesting. It makes me wonder how, they gather this kind of information as to, what people like. And I look at a demographic in Eswatini right now, I know that a lot of local football fans, let me just say football fans in general in Eswatini, love to bet, by the way. Gunalindiza, there's other forms of betting. And I suppose they put those sort of things on their websites to lure them in. Is that right?
There's a lot that they can do. With ladies, it can be hair,
Yeah.
Hair
is a big thing right
is
now.
a big thing. So
Yeah.
it can be hair, smartwatches,
Yeah.
is a lot that they can do. And at that point, you get compromised.
Yeah, okay. If it was another interview, I would have loved to understand why you're wearing your natural hair in this world where that is not so fashionable. But anyway, you spoke on detecting red flags. And, part of that you spoke on, pop-up login screens. You spoke about, other things that we can see online. What are some other red flags that we should be aware of?
All right, okay. Let me just take you a step back. So amongst other frauds is the spoof site. But one key fraud that is a problem for Eswatini is fake adverts, especially on social media, where you are going to, for instance, you see on social media, let's say you're into farming, for instance,
Yeah.
and you see an advert on farm implements, for instance, going for a very good deal. And then you inquire, and they tell you three for the price of one.
Yeah.
And then you get interested. Next thing, you take that conversation to WhatsApp. They show you pictures, very
Yeah.
interesting, great deal. You make payment. Next thing, they tell you, no, the consignment has left Joburg. They send you
It's on its
papers
way.
for the border.
Yeah.
You go to the border gate, you wait, and the consignment does not arrive. You try to contact your person.
Well, they took your money, they took your time. There's
Exactly.
quite a lot that they steal
Exactly.
from you.
Fake adverts are one of the biggest issues
Yeah.
that we're facing right now. Fake adverts as well as the spoof sites. So with the fake adverts, for the red flags with these fake adverts, firstly, it's always a really good deal.
Yeah.
And it's
Too good to
usually
be true.
Too good to be true.
Right.
It's always the case. Secondly, there's always pressure for you to make an upfront payment. There's always pressure. Thirdly, when you are close to making the payment or when you have done the payment, there's then other terms that come with it, maybe insurance, carriage, or some sort of taxes, some other, additional payments that have to come with it, carriage. There's going to be one thing after another, and you'll be making payment, like 500 rand for this, 500 that,
Yeah.
you'll be making payment. And then at some point you'll be like, I've already spent so much. And then you start to ask questions. And at that point you discover you've been duped.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot. There's that pressure, the issue of now additional costs that have not been disclosed in the while having that initial conversation of that sale.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And then looking at other things, when you now commit to say no, I want this deal, and then they'll say no. Actually, if you bring 3 or 4 more customers, they might even say that you are going to get something for free.
Like
so
they
you'll
incentivize.
exactly, they incentivize. So there's a whole lot of red flags, things that you can pick up
Wow.
with that. Because if you think about it, how can a farm implement go for 500 malangeni.
Yeah.
You know, things like that.
Even the government subsidy program doesn't go that low, and it's
exactly.
pretty much the most, you know, the only thing that makes sense right now for a lot of local farmers. Yeah.
True.
We've also seen a lot of, you know, job opportunities, fake job opportunities masquerading as real job opportunities. And I think I've bumped into one with the voiceover, and you can tell there's an AI generated voiceover. Are you a Eswatini that wants to study or that wants to, you know, work in America?
Yeah.
We have a simple step, and it sounds so simple, and yeah, like you said, too good to be true.
Certainly. And you know, most of the time, one red flag as well that will certainly give it away is the comments are disabled. Comments are usually disabled for all these fake adverts. And especially for that advert, if you go to the comments, you know, you can't get to the comments.
Yeah, no reviews, no testimonials.
Nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
Nothing.
Very interesting. Let's talk about payment gateways. You know, reading through what this thing is, I did see something along the lines of payment gateways and how they are key to facilitating transactions online. How can users really ensure that, you know, the platform they're using has a secure payment gateway?
All right. So what we encourage is that, I'll give an example. You know, when Nedbank Eswatini website, and you know how your app looks like. You know everything about how Nedbank looks like. So when now I get to, let's say, Facebook, and now there's a pop-up, Nedbank pop-up, right there on Facebook, right? Okay, that's all right. There's an advert.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But now, if then there's an advert that will then now prompt me to make a payment using my Nedbank credentials, abandon that and go to your official app, you know, on your phone. So don't process any payment on any other platform, on social media or any other links, except the usual platforms that you always use. That is your internet banking or your app.
Yeah. You're providing a lot of helpful tips, you know, and I suppose this one of, you know, typing directly the websites or going through the app itself, as well as securing profiles with strong passwords.
Certainly.
You know, I suppose that becomes important, and I think you guys have also advised us before that we should change our passwords frequently.
Definitely. Change your passwords, but most importantly, besides changing the password, always have a strong password.
What does that mean?
It means you have a password that has got both numbers and different characters. You know, you have your hash, at, you know, think of a song, you know.
Okay.
Yes, you know,
Okay.
I love Jesus. You know, things like that.
Yeah.
And you find a way, you change the different characters, you put caps.
Yeah.
You apostrophes, things like that, question marks, 1, 2, 3,
whatever they call
exactly.
them. All right. Now, Spalele, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This is Spalele Makakula Shabang. We have been, you know, talking about online shopping and payments, spoofed websites. Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's go for a break, and we'll be back shortly.